All right. Our next part of 1-3 is solving a quadratic equation by completing the square. Okay. So completing the square is used to help plot, solve, and find minimum points of quadratic equations. Okay. Typically with a quadratic equation, your standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c, correct? So when I refer to the a term, that's the term with x squared. When I refer to the b term, that's the term with the x. And when I refer to the c term, that's your constant. When you're trying to get into completing the square form, this is what you're trying to get down to, where you have q plus q squared plus p. And what this creates is also called your vertex form, which we'll talk about more when we get to quadratics, but q and p will be your vertex. So in this case, it's actually negative q comma p. That's where your vertex would lie. And that's why it says minimum point. So it's, it could be a maximum as well. But in order to get there, here's the formula that you follow for completing the square. Notice here in the formula that your your a has to equal 1. So here's your completing the square formula. Are we ready to use the formula? Yeah. Ready? All right. So we're going to start here. So for, So the first thing we're going to do is acknowledge the fact that we have x squared plus 8x plus 7 equals 0. Right? So that means our a equals 1, our b equals 8, and our c equals 7. Okay, so step 1 is to move your c term. So in order to move my c term, what am I going to have to do? Subtract. So I'm left with x squared plus 8x plus blank equals negative 7. Okay. Step 2 is I'm going to apply the formula now. So the formula told me that it's, what's the formula? Minus what? We just wrote it down, Brandon.
Oh, yeah.
Brandon, there's the formula. Oh, okay, cool. Do you need me to go back?
No. No. I said no. Not gonna
He doesn't, does he?
I'm not gonna write that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Look, you already wrote it down.
Okay, so the formula means is letting you know that you're going to bring your c back over, right? I like to move the c and then bring it back just because it's a distraction for the most part. It really doesn't matter, in all honesty. So the first thing is, this is your b. So the first part that you have here, it says x plus b divided by 2. So we have x plus 8 divided by 2 squared minus 8 divided by 2 squared. And I move my, you can move it back if you want. I don't. Because I moved it. I like it not to be part of the situation, so I'm done. Yeah. You could follow it full on. We'll follow it full on the next one. All right, so that gives me x plus, what's 8 divided by 2? 4 squared minus 4 squared, which is 16, equals negative 7. Remember I moved my 7? And then when I move it back, then I'll have it completed. So step 3 is move C back. So that gives me X plus. Are we solving? Oh, fiddle farts, we're solving. My bad. I warned y'all that I'm running on 2.5 hours of sleep. I sincerely apologize. We don't want to move C back. No, we're trying to get the variable this by itself. I was like, what am I doing? Yeah. So you're not moving your C. Now your goal is to isolate the X. There we go. Now, doesn't this, what do I need to do to get X by itself? Someone said it. Plus 16 is what I heard. Good job on whoever said plus 16. So we have X plus 4 squared now equals, what's negative 7 plus 16? 9. Then what else do I need to do to isolate the X? Take the square root. And what do I get? Not just 3. Plus minus 3. So I don't have enough room. So that gives me X equals negative 4 plus or minus 3. And so what are my two X's? Negative 1 or X equals negative 7. That is why I moved this C in the beginning instead of waiting, because I'm going to have to move it anyway. You have a whole piece of paper. Okay. All right. Questions, comments, concerns. So move the C term, apply the formula. Circle this guy because he's been moved. Apply the formula, isolate the X. Okay. So let's talk about what if your A does not equal 1. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. If your A does not equal 1, then you're going to have to divide. So first step is we're going to move our C term. So I'm now left with 2x squared minus 12x equals 13. Second step is to divide by the coefficient of A. What is a coefficient? The 2. So I divide everything by 2. And this is what happens when your A does not equal 1. So we have x squared minus 6x equals 13 halves. And then now after this, then you're just going to follow the rule for completing the square. So we're going to follow the x, it's going to be a negative, but plus b divided by 2 squared plus b divided by 2 squared. So this becomes x. Follow the sign. Minus 6 divided by 2 squared plus, and we have a negative 6 divided by 2 squared equals 6.5. Huh? That will be an ugly B. No comment. Oh, I have sketchy handwriting all day long. All right. So we applied the formula, simplified, and then step 4 is to isolate the x. What do I need to do to get x by itself? Minus 9. X minus 3 squared equals, what is that? Negative 2.5?
No, wait. 3.5. You know, I'm like 3.5.
I'm pretty sure it's negative 2.5.
Wait, no, it's 3.5.
Feel pretty confident that it's negative. No. All right. And then I take the square root. Uh-oh, there's a problem. Can someone tell me the problem? You cannot square root a negative. So this means that there are no real solutions. And why? Because what's underneath my square root? A negative. So there are no real solutions and the party is over. You said yay. That's it.
I'm gonna go back to writing.